As a man, part of building your purpose and building who you are as a man is making sure you're not making silly mistakes and decisions, specifically with women. And I've seen too many times these young men specifically that have seen these women that they were either in a relationship with, or the women that rejected them are now coming back after they broke up, and the woman was the one that either initiated the breakup or was the one that initially rejected them to begin with. The only reason, man, the only reason that she comes back, there actually might be two reasons. But the one reason specifically is you're doing better now without her, and she either, as a sub part of this, she either wants to sabotage that or she wants to be a part of it. And because women are very solipsistic and they cannot make a mistake on their own and take accountability for it, because it will absolutely hurt their ego to the point to where they will not be able to handle the fact that they're the ones that made the mistake. And you might have not done everything perfect as a man, but you were doing everything that you needed to be there for her and to provide and protect, etc., like a godly man ought to. But a lot of the women out here are not going to be capable of this and realizing this and accepting the accountability. This is where you get the, hey stranger, or wow, it's been so long, how have you been? You get that kind of BS that's coming back. And if you've never experienced this before, you're going to be somebody that, wow, she came back, she's seeing my progress. Yes, she's seeing your progress. That's the only reason she's coming back, because you'll see a lot of women too have their eye on you when you're a little bit younger. They're like, I kind of like him, but he's just not quite there yet. Or they'll try to play these games with you, try to keep you on the simp orbit list, and you do not want to ever be on that list. Never, ever, ever. I genuinely don't think how, I don't understand genuinely how so many men are choosing to live this kind of life where they're the beta orbiters and they're willing to get these women's attention for the brief second. They're going to provide her with all the boyfriend benefits, but they're not going to actually do anything about it. And I know that every single man that has built himself up used to be a simp in some sort of way, but man, it comes to a point to where you just have to make the decision to focus on what you're really trying to build in life. Because as a man, if you are building yourself up to a certain degree, you're capable of being by yourself. Because a lot of this is going to be the second reason why women come back to you. If you're okay being by yourself, oftentimes a woman is not. And it's not because she's less of a person or anything like that. It's because women need a man. Women really do need a man. A man must want a woman but not need a woman. A woman must need a man but not want the man sometimes. Obviously, when there's a need, there's obviously some semblance of want, but the woman cannot really mature until she accepts that there's a need for a man in her life. And a man cannot mature until he is capable of living a life without the need of a woman. And so if he can do that, there's going to be a lot of great things happening. But a man must be on a quest, right? You have to be on a quest for something. You have to be going through life and living certain ways that are in accordance to who you really are as a person, because those are going to be the most important years of your life, being on that quest as a man. I'm 28 years old, and in many ways, I'm still just getting started. I am just beginning to see what I'm truly capable of. And that's a beautiful thing, because there was a time when I did not believe in myself. There was a time when I did not believe that I had what it took to do certain things. And now it's almost like the discipline for it and the discipline that it takes to do the things that I do It's so rewarding because I know here on Friday night, like, I'm going to be putting in some more work. I'm going to be working on some projects. I'm going to be doing some artwork. I'm going to be doing exactly what I need to be doing right now because I'm building certain things and trying to create certain aspects of my life that are going to build not just for myself, but for the longevity of everybody else. I'm making this video, for example, as a form of hopefully giving people quality information in which they can just take the truth pill, so to speak. I don't really believe in pills like the red pill or the blue pill or the black. I don't buy into any of that personally. I think you're either just walking in spirit and truth or you're not. You're either on God's team or you're not. You're either on God's side or you're not. And a lot of people may say, well, that's a really, that's a pretty particular way of thinking. And it's very black and white. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. But when I say that, it's like, well, reality is gray, but when it comes to truth and spirit, it's black and white, because you can look out at the reality of the world. You as an awakened person, as somebody that is awakened to female nature, let's say, because okay, let's be real. Women, all that they need to do to be pretty much getting anything in this world is they need to not be fat, they need to not be insufferably full of themselves, and they need to be able to respect men. And they can pretty much get whatever they want. For us men, it's not like that. We have to move through the world a certain way, and you might be looking at something as a man, you might see certain things that are going on spiritually, because if you're a godly person, you're going to see things in a spiritual perspective. You might see certain things, and most of the time, it's not always, but it takes a highly self-aware woman, which I would say is the number one trait you need to look for in any woman, is a woman with self-awareness. If she can be self-aware, then you can really work with that, because at least she's aware of who she is, like where her triggers are, what her faults are, and how she's going to get better. And she's a woman that's self-aware, has accepted her solipsistic nature in some way, because she knows that she needs that man. She knows that she wants to be taken care of, and she wants to be able to be a helpmate, or meet, however you want to look at that. She wants to be a helpmate for the man in her life, and she doesn't need all of these other men's approval or validation or anything, because she has that man. That's the man that she wants. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people online, specifically a lot of the red pill community, will say that, well, they all cheat. Men and women, they all cheat. Just get one that respects you. And there's a little bit of truth to that to some degree, because people, I cannot tell you how many married women have tried to come back and like they didn't say that they were married, but when I talked to them and everything, and then finally when I found out they were married, I just left. And this has been like years, but years ago and years in the making. But they will come back to me because they're just not satisfied. And I've literally had dreams with women that are telling me that I'm the best lover that they've ever had, and yet we've never even kissed. And you know why that is? Because I know how to expand a woman's mind. I know how to really make a solid connection with her that can expand her mind. And a woman's sexuality is going to be drawn to that spirituality, whereas the man's spirituality or the man's sexuality is drawn to the earthly. Okay, that's why we are so fascinated with female beauty, because it's just so physically attractive. And it's not to say that men that are physically attractive are not attractive to women, but we are, as men, we're just so much more enthralled with the physical attraction there. And it's because, and this is a paraphrase of Carl Jung's Red Book, by the way. Just that little insight there. But the most important thing to see is, like, when these women come back, you've got to recognize why they're coming back. Like, what exactly is it that they're trying to get? For a lot of these married women, they're just trying to get sexual attention that is not from their husband, because they're not sexually attracted to their husband. And this is one of the reasons why I don't think I'll ever get legally married, because it seems like when people get legally married, it's almost like, for women, it's like, oh, I got him, now what? Like, they legitimately do get bored, because there's not that tension anymore. It's like they want the safety, they want the security, but they also want to be able to not really know exactly what could happen. And there's this weird paradox where, with a healthy woman, she's gonna just want that spontaneity. She's gonna be able to see that this man, if he is like husband material, let's say, if he is husband material and he's doing certain things, he is spontaneous, he is a provider, he is a protector, he's all these things. But you have to really be dang near the creme de la creme of every category and every game of dominance you could play. You have to be dominant in every game of dominance to keep a woman nowadays, it seems, because they're just so meh. They just get bored so easily. But as for the women that will come back, you'll see. Like, I've had women from 6+ years ago show up in my life, and their jaws have literally dropped when they saw me. They could not believe it. They could not believe it, because I was like fat. I was nearly 200 pounds at one point, and now I'm like 155, and I'm in really great shape, and I've got things going for myself, and we're building communities, we're building purpose, we're building lives, and it's amazing to see. And I've got that life momentum, and women can sense that. And especially if women, I swear, I don't know exactly how to say this, but it's almost like women have a collective consciousness of their own, separate from man, it seems like, because men have to be more individualistic. Men have to be a little bit more disagreeable in order to make it in life. It's not necessarily that they need to be rude, but they need to be a little bit more disagreeable. Women are almost, because of their like heightened ability to be agreeable, or to really be impressionable, it's almost like they have this collective consciousness that is, you can think about it as like the feminine spirit. And this feminine spirit, when other women know that you're wanted, it just increases their desire to have you even more. And I've had women that didn't like me before, that rejected me, but then they see me with another woman that is at least as attractive as her, or even more attractive, and now all of a sudden she wants my attention. Now all of a sudden, because I have social proof necessarily, because I have other women of her attractive caliber wanting me, now she wants me. Because if a woman like that wants me, then there must be something about me that makes her want to stay. So you just got to be really mindful and careful with how you deal with these women, though. And this just comes down to understanding the basics of universal laws and God's laws, statutes, and commandments. When I say God's laws, statutes, and commandments, those are the ones that you need to follow. Those are like the 10 commandments, and then the commandments that Jesus has for us. Because when we operate under those laws that God has given us, it opens up the door to other ways that the universe works. Now, what do I mean by that? Because when you follow certain laws that are godly, certain other blissful realms and domains of being could open up to you in a way that you never thought were possible. And so you need to learn that women are a paradox. Life is a paradox, because if you understand life as a paradox, you'll understand exactly how women work. This is why I'm not encouraging you guys to ignore women, but this is why when you ignore a woman or you just treat a beautiful woman like she's like she's just a person, that's when they get super like, okay, he's not freaking out about me. This guy is probably different. He's probably been with other women like me before. There's like these certain levels that they go through and go to in their own head, because women's imagination is your best friend. If you can get her to imagine whatever is going on, like she just wants to be having you as a perceived value. That's really what it's about. You don't actually need all of this craziness, like all of the materials and everything. You just need to have the perceived value from other women. That's and it's stupid because it's like, really? Like, that's it? But at the same time, it's actually not stupid. It's actually really kind of a beautiful way that God has created us to ensure that the strong survive and thrive. So with all this being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful to you. If you do want to join the Regal Change Academy, where we do have some Nexus Attraction classes in the paid community, as well as a bunch of different other kinds of classes available. But this is where we're really creating a community for women that are warm, inviting, feminine, and empathetic, and men that are capable of being godlike savages. We've got all different kinds of men in there, and we're growing week by week. That is just on a level that I haven't seen before, and it's so cool to be around and in a community that has people that are really dedicated to learning how to live life better. And so if you want to be around people like that, that's going to be the place. We also have the free Discord available for you, and that's going to be not as many resources and calls available, but you will be getting the free resources and the godly community. I do also want to thank everybody moving from YouTube over to X and Rumble recently. I appreciate your guys' support. And with all that being said, peace be with you all. Till next time.